murder investigation. A missing man's remains discovered, but a possible suspect is dead too. Making repairs in a hurry.
If we do not have safe, clean, reliable drinking water, we don't have anything in the city.
The city expedites work to fix its water supply. And return to Las Vegas.
I wanted to put it out there that we miss Canada.
The hotel boss with a special offer for Canadians.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Ian White.
Good afternoon. We begin with the CTV News exclusive. The remains of a Calgary senior missing for more than 2 years have finally been identified. And CTV News has learned police had previously arrested the sole suspect, but he was killed in a Northwest home this month before charges could be laid. Tyson Fedor joins us live. And Tyson, we're getting a clearer sense of the timeline and who was involved in Abdul Mufti's death.
Well, Ian, if you remember back into August of 2023, Abdul Mufti's disappearance from a Falcon Ridge home was considered suspicious. And at that time, police believe that he was a victim of homicide. In October of 2024, it was in this field here behind me near Stony Trail and 36th Street here in the Northeast that human remains were found that were then linked to the disappearance of Abdul Mufti. Now, police only recently told Mufti's family that on October, a human skull was found by a member of the public in a field near Stony Trail and 36th Street Northeast. DNA samples were sent for analysis. 6 months later, it was determined they belonged to Mufti. We are now learning that long before any of that, police arrested Shabazz Ahmed, his landlord, in connection to the disappearance and murder of Mufti. However, there was insufficient evidence to support a murder charge, and he was later released in August of 2023. And now there are no suspects in this case. 2 weeks ago, Ahmed lured and attacked a woman into an Edgemont home where she killed him in self-defense. Police now say that Shabazz's unexpected death has changed the course of the investigation into Mufti's murder. Police say that they are working with Crown prosecutors to determine next steps.
The police would maybe still be at the level of suspicion for things like, did someone aid and assist in the murder, right? Didn't actually participate in the murder, but maybe counseled the murder or conspired to commit the murder.
Now, Bakhtawa Qayyum Mufti is Abdul Mufti's daughter. She is calling for an independent and transparent investigation into the circumstances surrounding her father's death. She's actually calling on Calgary police as well to release her father's remains to the family so that he can be brought back to Pakistan for a proper burial. Ian?
All right. Thanks very much, Tyson. After more than 2 years apart, a Calgary mother is finally reunited with her son, but she says her case went ignored by the federal government as a private charity stepped in. The 5-year-old boy was allegedly taken out of Calgary in late 2023 by his father, Mohammed Zia-ur-Rahman. They traveled to multiple countries before arriving in Mauritius. That's where Rahman was arrested at the airport in December. Investigators say it was a carefully planned abduction involving forged documents and newly acquired passports. A private charity called End Violence Everywhere says it made several pleas to Global Affairs Canada to bring the child home, but claims no action was taken. That prompted the group to coordinate travel, security, and legal logistics to reunite the boy with his mother.
The mother in December called Global Affairs and tried to contact them. They did not respond. They didn't respond to us in April 2025 prior to the reunification. So why are we giving $75 million a year to Global Affairs when they don't seem to be able to do the job that a private organization did?
The mother, who wishes to remain anonymous, is thankful, saying, "Because of their courage and compassion, my son is home, safe and healing." CTV News asked Global Affairs why a private charity had to take the lead. The department says it's reviewing the situation. Decades after 2 Calgary teachers sexually assaulted junior high school students, some victims will be getting restitution from a school board settlement that could be finalized next month. In November, the Calgary Board of Education reached an agreement with the more than 40 people in a class action lawsuit who said they were abused by Michael Gregory and Fred Archer while they were teachers at John Ware School between 1988 and 2004. The school board has apologized and agreed to a $15.7 million settlement, which may receive court approval in February.
Anyone who's experienced sexual assault, you have a lot of grief for the things that were taken from you, and that doesn't go away. Not with money, not with change of policy. It's something that's just forever taken from you.
Gregory died by suicide 5 days after he was charged in 2021. Archer was convicted of abusing boys at the school and now faces more charges of sexual assault. Others abused by the men who have not joined the lawsuit have until February 26th to apply. The CBE has also agreed to work with some of the victims to help detect and prevent sexual abuse. 3 schools in the city's northwest went into lockdown this morning. Police were called to Northmount Drive following reports of someone with a weapon. As a precaution, St. Francis High School, St. Margaret's School, and Collingwood School went into lockdown. Officers say they found a person carrying an airsoft gun, but it had not been used. The investigation is ongoing. And an investigation is underway into what sparked a fire at a home in Pine Ridge this morning. Fire crews were called around 8:30 to the 6400 block of 28th Avenue Northeast. When they arrived, smoke was coming from the roof of the home. The home was under renovations at the time, and 2 workers were on site. Nobody was hurt, and crews were able to put out the fire that was burning in the ceiling before it spread to neighboring homes. A replacement for Calgary's biggest water feeder main is now expected to be done in December, more than a year ahead of its initial schedule. Jordan Canigan is at one of the construction sites with more. And Jordan, this project changed drastically after the recent water crisis.
Ian, it really did, and crews were on site earlier today, and the equipment is here ready for construction to begin tomorrow on a replacement for the Bears Paw feeder main, and it is a massively accelerated timeline because officials worry that the old pipe could burst again at any moment. Now, since 2024 and the break that happened at that point, it was decided to replace the line with a parallel steel pipe, but that work wasn't supposed to start until this spring and be done by 2028. Now work is starting right away with the replacement line scheduled to be in service as early as December 1st of this year. Micro tunneling will be used to run the line under several communities and major roads. It'll be done in 2 stages, and the second half is still being planned even while work begins.
There may be technical challenges that emerge along the way, but we're well on track to delivering in one single year what would otherwise take 4. And this reflects the urgency the Calgarians have shown us. The fact that if we do not have safe, clean, reliable drinking water, we don't have anything in the city.
We don't even know the final cost for all of this or what even the projected cost will be, other than it will be hundreds of millions of dollars. And officials acknowledge that the fast-tracked work will cost more. Now, there will also be disruptions throughout this construction work, and it is likely we see more water restrictions again in the fall and the spring. But officials say it will be short-term pain for hopefully a long-term gain. Ian?
Tyson, thank you. Or Jordan, rather. A new program is providing young Calgarians with paid work placements. Calgary Economic Development has launched Talent Ed Greater Calgary. The program connects youth aged 18 to 24 with employers to help them transition from education to the workforce. The province provided $3 million in funding. Students are offered free AI and digital training, and wages are often subsidized by the program.
Being paid it was something that it was kind of like mind-blowing. I was like, oh my gosh, like, oh, I can actually like do things and I get paid. It's kind of like that really interesting feeling of being rewarded for the work that you do. And I think it motivates you in a different way as a student because it makes everything feel much more real.
The program hopes to create 2,000 work placements and projects for youth by 2027. Danielle, it's already cold out there, so cold that I'm messing up the names of our reporters as our hearts go out to them in the cold, and it's going to get even colder tonight, right?
Yeah, our poor reporters, everybody who has to work in it, it's definitely, there's a bite in the air for sure, and that's going to even get a little colder before it gets warmer. And in some communities, even wind chills in the -40s, which is where we have cold warnings in place. So Calgary, we didn't quite reach the cold warning criteria because we're not looking at -40 wind chill in our short-term forecast here, but close to the -30s for sure. All right, -17 is the temperature at the airport. It feels like -25 right now with the wind chill. Your 24-hour forecast is brought to you by Fifth Avenue Volkswagen, family-owned, community-driven. Discover more at Fifth Avenue Volkswagen. And you can see by the wind chills listed here, -28 will be the wind chill overnight, and then by tomorrow afternoon, -18. Lots of sunshine for tomorrow, but before we get to tomorrow, there's the chance of a few flurries tonight before this snowfall is all said and done. And then we have another big snowfall on the way for Saturday. We'll talk about that one coming up, Ian. All right, don't miss the Foothills Hospital Home Lottery VIP deadline. Buy your tickets before midnight tomorrow and you are in to win the Audi Q8 VIP prize or choose $100,000 cash. Buy now at foothillshospitalhomelottery.com.
Thanks, Danielle. Since Donald Trump returned to the White House, the U.S. tourism industry has lost billions of dollars. Still ahead, what a hotel boss in Las Vegas is doing to bring Canadians back to Sin City. And a warning for people looking to lose weight. Beware of fake Ozempic. A Nevada business owner is trying to incentivize Canuck tourists to return to his country, saying he misses his Canadian best friends. He owns 3 downtown Las Vegas hotels that have begun accepting the weak Canadian dollar at par with the American dollar in an effort to spur travel. Circa Resort and Casino, the D Las Vegas, and the Golden Gate Hotel and Casino will now take Canadian dollars for hotel bookings, drinks, and even gambling. Promo comes amidst a massive downturn thanks in large part to U.S. President Donald Trump and his trade war. Data from the Las Vegas International Airport shows 10 straight months of declines.
Canadian tourism on a monthly basis, it's been down anywhere from 25% to 50%, depending upon the month. We are both better together. And I realize sometimes when best friends or allies have a spat, yeah, they have a spat, but it doesn't mean everybody wants to fight.
The At Par promo runs until September. For full details, visit our website. Of course, one of the reasons why Canadians used to enjoy going to Las Vegas was the weather.
Yes.
And I checked, and it's only 14 degrees there now. So, you know.
I mean, that's quite a lot nicer.
Well, no, don't even bother. Stay at home, enjoy your Canadian wine, and shovel some snow.
Right. I agree.
Because we're going to have to. Yeah,
and to be honest, this cold air is not just here. It's also starting to filter in all the way south as Texas. So over the coming days, everywhere is going to be cold. So flying south won't be the solution. We just have to get through it, and we can. This is a 2-day really cold stretch, and then we recover to minus single digits. All right, with the wind chill right now in the city, it feels like minus 27. It feels like minus 24 in Drumheller, minus 30 in Red Deer, and closer to or around the Medicine Hat area, we're in the minus 30s as well, which is basically why we have the cold warning in place, because it is colder here now, and it will be colder areas closer to the Saskatchewan border tonight and through tomorrow morning. So with the wind chill, the values will be around minus 40, even minus 45 in these communities. So foremost, Medicine Hat, areas to the east of Brooks, east of Drumheller, up through Hanna and Oyen, Coronation. So that's where we have the cold warning in place. Just outside of it, though, the wind chills will get into the minus 30s as well. So it's frigid everywhere, but of course the coldest will be here closer to the Saskatchewan border for tonight and tomorrow morning. And again, with a minus 40 wind chill, frostbite can happen to exposed skin within minutes. So definitely cover up if you have to go out in the cold tonight and tomorrow morning. We have had some snowfall push through. In most cases, it's just been a light dusting, like in the city, for example. Some communities, though, isolated areas saw a centimeter or two from this. This is pretty much done with, but there's still the potential of some isolated flurries, no real significant accumulation over these next 2 hours, and then that's out for tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll get some sunshine in the day in the city, but we'll also get some cloud cover. Now let's fast forward to Friday night. Friday night we'll pick up anywhere from 1 to 3 centimeters in the city. And then the real significant snowfall is Saturday, where it looks like this will hover over the city for quite a while. So parts of the QE2, especially south of Red Deer, down Highway 2 over to Lethbridge, Milk River, these are the areas where we're going to see some significant snowfall from this. So first wave, this is just for tonight, maybe another centimeter, but less likely. We're looking at maybe just a dusting. And then this is what we're looking at for Saturday. Saturday, anywhere from 5 to 10 centimeters of snow in Calgary, Okotoks, High River. A little less expected in Lethbridge, about 6 centimeters, and anywhere up to 10 centimeters is possible in Cochrane as well. All right, longer range forecast for Calgary, -11 is our high, so it's another cold one. And again, tomorrow night, 1 to 3 centimeters, another 5 to 10 possible on Saturday. Still cold on Saturday with a high of -9, but we rebound to -1 for Sunday. Don't miss the Foothills Hospital Home Lottery VIP deadline. Buy your tickets before midnight tomorrow and you are in to win the Audi Q8 VIP prize or choose $100,000 cash. Buy now at foothillshospitalhomelottery.com.
As weight loss drugs like Ozempic become more popular, Health Canada is warning people to beware of counterfeit versions being sold across the country. The agency says the fake drugs are being sold in stores and online. In some cases, Health Canada's logo is being used to advertise them. That's a big red flag because Health Canada does not endorse health products. It warns using these fake products comes with serious health risks and says prescription drugs should only be bought from licensed pharmacies. Red Deer is the latest city to say no to higher density housing. Just ahead, how council's decision will cost millions of dollars in federal funding. The U.S. economy continues to post plenty of growth. Joining me is Liana Wachniak, investment advisor with the Popwich-Karmali Advisory Group. And Liana, the U.S. economy posted strong growth in the third quarter.
That's right. And remember, we're still playing catch up from the government shutdown over the sort of October, November months for the U.S. So this is third quarter data, July through September. But we did see an annualized growth rate for the U.S. economy for about 4.4%. That's the fastest growth rate we've seen in about 2 years. That means that the economy there is running pretty warm, and a lot of it is driven by consumer spending. That was up about 3.5%, and over 70% of that GDP number does come from that consumer spending number. So there is a lot to be happy about in this particular number. It means that the economy is performing well, sales are going well, but there is still some underlying concern from economists that we have developing what they're calling a K-shaped economy, where a lot of the spending is being done by wealthier Americans, and people with lower incomes are not able to spend as much. So there's creating more disparity between the income in the two of them. So the numbers could be misleading unless you dig into them a little bit further. But overall, as a headline number, it is a fairly impressive one for the third quarter.
And with those numbers in mind, unemployment in the U.S. rose as well.
That's right. Now, unemployment ticked up a little bit in the last week. We also got some inflation data for the U.S. for the month of November. So again, catching up on some of this data. But the November inflation numbers showed inflation ticking up slightly, about 0.1% of the year over year, at about a number that's about 2.8% on an annual basis. And the unemployment numbers ticking up slightly. Layoffs not really going ahead that much, but not that much hiring happening in the U.S. economy either. Now, all of these factors together do give Chairman Jay Powell and others in the U.S. Fed more ammunition to hold interest rates where they're at. They don't necessarily want to cut rates and add fuel to that inflation number, and or they don't necessarily need to, given the fact that the U.S. economy is running at a decent level as it is.
All right. Thanks for the update.
Thank you.
Millions of dollars earmarked for affordable housing in Red Deer has been canceled by the federal government. The funding was part of the Housing Accelerator Fund. It was conditional on a zoning change that would allow up to 4 units per residential lot. Residents pushed back on the idea, so Red Deer Council rejected the change. It prompted the federal government to cancel its $12 million grant. Ottawa says it's working with the city of Red Deer on next steps. The Bears Paw feeder main replacement should be done by the end of this year. Here's Tara Nelson with a look ahead to CTV News at 6.
Hi, Ian. That timeline is more than a year earlier than originally planned. Coming up at 6, a closer look at the measures Council has approved to speed up this project. Plus, we'll have reaction from residents. Also ahead, an Alberta man's invention for helping parents locate their kids at ski resorts is coming to Marmot Basin in Jasper. Coming up at 6, we'll explain how it works. Ian.
Sounds interesting. Thanks, Tara. Colder weather and snow. We'll be getting both over the next couple of days. Right now in Calgary, it's already cold at -17. There's even a wind chill of -28. Danielle has details still ahead. Okay, Danielle, you're sending us outside to shovel some snow. Well, it's you're not forcing us to.
That's Saturday.
That's Saturday we're doing the shoveling, and it'll be a bit warmer then?
I mean, a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, high of -9 compared to -11.
Yeah, okay.
That's something.
All right.
It's cold. Cold for the next couple of days. It's cold now. Our current temperature, just the base ambient temperature is -17. Our high was -9, but that was at 1 a.m. because as we talked about for today, the temperatures cooled throughout the day rather than warmed. -11 as our high for tomorrow, but that comes with a wind chill closer to -30, so frostbite can happen within moments, and then the snow and a high of -9 for Saturday.
Thanks, Danielle. A local theater group is bringing a little piece of Alberta history to life.
I'm interested in one ghost in particular, the old cowboy.
The erratic players are performing Raiders of the Lost Lemon Mine at the Twin Cities Saloon in Longview. It's based on a legend that dates back to the 1870s when 2 men discovered a massive amount of gold in the mountains west of town. One of them got greedy and killed his partner. The story is the only thing that remains because the gold has never been found.
So we've heard kind of 2 sets of feedback. Those that say, oh, I've never heard of the lemon mine, tell me more. And those that have lived and breathed it for years. You talk to any of the locals and they go, oh, when I was 7 years old, I tried to find the mine.
The play is interactive. That means the audience gets to solve clues and possibly find the gold. The show runs from January 30th to March 1st. Thanks for joining us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.